mother, the man get hey. Uy. Uy. The wrong. So
Thank you, Pat.
yeah. So guys, as you can see the topic. What are your take on the Israel-America-Iran war? What is your take? Do you think that Bible prophecy is coming true? Do you think this is the beginning of World War III? Do you think this war that is taking place in the Middle East is this the beginning? What are your take and what do you think about this war that is taking place in the Middle East with Iran, American is controlling this? Do you think prophecy coming true? What is your take? Think prophecy coming true? What is your take?
Liverpool, man. I hate you, man. We don't talk. Is it for you if you want to go? So I'm asking, you know. So I'm asking for your work outside. Play for England. Where's the one? Don't be. I'll stop this Pele. Don't just Pele started. Pele rotten right now in a film. What about that? What about him wrong, I didn't start. No. No. I fell in love. Hey, don't go to Portugal.
Yeah, I was going to Canada.
Portugal?
That's what I mean.
Portugal?
2 vouchers, yes.
No, right now we are talking.
The price, the price one.
Price on
Price one. Me not price one. Me not have price.
You man follow the eye.
Me not price. This how we just take out of the book. I have it see from the next. Me not have it.
No,
See.
Come on, one little bit in family so that plus data. Yeah. Yeah. Them tell you for be back when.
I didn't want.
Hello? No, Monsieur. No, come back. Yeah, I don't think that. But I don't think that them match there. I think that's what we are for sure. I try match with that. You see that in a age. Where are they feeling? That is all like a goal, you know. The problem is.
If it's up, start go.
But it's not stop. That's not answer.
Yeah. And Kiesa, should have been a get Kiesa game. Kiesa hardly get game. Kiesa about 10 minutes Kiesa get. Me not tell you like. You look at 17-year-old. You see if the man then left the club and start the boy. The boy they go left Liverpool. Me not tell you no lie.
They need to start him. The man have a passion. They need to start him.
See the man have a what? See the man have a what? You think you're going to
the man afraid of nobody.
The man says send Goliath, you ready?
Listen, say the man. I'm not going to if you're coming in.
Start him, take him. Now put him on too much pressure they on him. I go there, we forget a go. Them can't feel and you get what I say?
True.
So you put him on and me young see me. Young see me. So you start him. Got to go man.
Yes.
There's some coaches that are ready.
Then I tell
you, it's the Monday, not doing a much on my side, you know.
Woman, you mash up your style, don't?
Yeah.
And mash up your money too.
And them mash up the side.
Mash up your money. You remember my gear when me have? How much you got a bid for him? Now 70 million you got a bid for him? How much money that you have spent? Nearly 600,000. 600 million US. I'm pound, no say. How much me get for carry? 20 million. Slot can't spend. Remember, you know, Vert. Daniel, remember Vert? Where I come from, they represent. And me go for Vert in a city, you know. I'm go for him, them say 150. And then 50 million. And me say, after you know the Brian, for 150 million. Collapse the deal and stay, sir. Me go for Cherokee for $30 million. How much money that I save? $120 million. Then I go for Margate, then I go for Semenyo. The 150 ball, the 150 give me 4 baller. See that?
Hey!
Up the tail.
Weirdest thing in the fridge. So guys, I was asking you, what are your take on the Israel, America and the Iran war that is taking place down in the Middle East? Do you think this is the beginning of World War III? Do you think it is a form of control how to take over the Middle East so as to push the agenda of a world power or the one world order? Or do you think it is the beginning of Bible prophecy? So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about how the world is looking on and what the other countries in the world is thinking about this Israel, Iran and US war that is taking place. So in this video, I will share with you what the other countries are saying and what they're thinking about. So the US-Israel war against Iran has now escalated into a regional conflict, and consequences are already extending far beyond the Middle East. After asking our Middle East expert to assess the impact of the war for nearby countries, we have turned to our global network to send us dispatches on how leaders in Europe, Asia, North America, and Latin America are reacting to this spreading conflict. Here's what they reported back to us. So China's response to the US-Israel war against and Iran. This is what China this is what China's thought is. China, a restrained response born of a bind. That is what Israel, that is what China thinks about the war that is taking place with the US, Israel against Iran. Russia, Russia's response is not riding to the rescue again. So Russia wants not to get involved in this war that is going on with the US, Israel, and Iran conflict. So Russia's response not riding to the rescue again. What does the United Kingdom think about the war? Let's just look at what the United Kingdom is saying, trying to stay out of it. So the United Kingdom is also trying to stay out of the Israel and America war against Iran. Let us look at what the European Union is saying about the war that is taking place with Israel and America against Iran. What is the thoughts? What is the European Union, the EU thoughts on the war that is taking place? Because the EU is normally a committee set up to bring peace and order in every country where there's war and suffering and people rights and humanity and justice. So what does the European Union, other known as the European Union, what are their thoughts on this war that is taking place in Europe? Caught between defending the rules. So the European Unions are caught between defending the rules. How do they defend the rules? Whose side should they be on? Should they be defending the rules of Iran, or should they be defending Israel and America's rule? Who is right? Who is wrong? So the European Union is caught in between who side they're supposed to in, which side is right and which wrong is wrong, because we know there's a lot of things that take place in Iran, and this leadership, the leader in Iran, I heard that he is dead, and his wife and I think children is dead. So he was in power from 1989, and there are a lot of people in Iran and even in Iranians throughout the world. Some of them are pleased that he is dead. Some are not pleased that the leader is dead. So some women, Iranian women, are pleased because they say that it was a dictatorship, and with that government they had no women have no rights in the country, and a lot of young people said they couldn't find jobs. I've even watched a video where this guy killed himself on TikTok and saying he's asking the Western countries to come and help them to get rid of this dictatorship, this ruler in Iran. So some people have mixed feeling about it. Some people want wanted the West to come and help them get rid of this leader, so they can get a leader that can make the country prosperous and make people feel belonging. So yes, so some people have mixed feeling. Some Iranians have mixed feeling about what is taking place. Some of them are happy and some of them are sad. I'm doing okay, Onika. So what is Ukraine? What does Ukraine think? Yes, thank you for the like. What does Ukraine think about the war that is taking place between Israel and what does Ukraine think about the Israel-America war and Iran? Well, Iran, Ukraine, a sense of this is a sense of I don't, but also new risk. So I'm saying Ukraine might feel a sense of relief that the spotlight is not on them, that the US spotlight is not on them. But as far as they're concerned, they're trying to keep themselves out of this war. What does Canada think about the war between Israel and America and Iran? Canada's response. So this is what Canada responds. Calibrated, cautious, and aligned with allies. So Canada is very conscious about whose side they're supposed to be on. They would rather align with their allies, with their own. So what does Argentina thinks? What are Argentina thoughts about the war that is taking place in the Middle East, where Israel and and America have lined up against Iran? Hello. What's somebody? Oh, what? But Sanjay, you kill me, man. Huh? One little chat that's supposed to last a long time. You don't need to put on a lot. Man, that they can serve you for years. Jesus. Are we any other perfume there? No, put on a lot. And now where you buy it from? No, sir. Okay. Aye. Perfume that smell nice. So, I'm at work, guys, so I have to be careful what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here, I am telling you guys about what the other countries in the world are their thoughts. What are their thoughts about the Israel and America war and Iran? So I'm sharing it with you what the other countries of the world, what China, what Russia, what United Kingdom, what the European Union, what Ukraine, what Canada, what Argentina, and what Spain's thought about the war that is taking place. I'm sharing with you their thoughts on it. So, according to Canada, they are very cautious about whose side they should be on, and they would rather stick with their allies. Argentina's response was a supportive response colored by a history of terror. So Argentina's response to this war it is a supportive response colored by a history of terror. So, that is Argentina's thought. What does Spain think about all of this war that is taking place? Spain defiance against the U.S. driven by domestic politics. So Spain's response is they are in defiance against the U.S. driven by domestic politics. So what Spain is saying that they're not in agreement with the U.S. because this war is driven because of domestic politics. We know about the oil in Ukraine, and maybe Spain is saying that maybe U.S. want to take over the Ukraine oil, and because Ukraine don't want to give them the oil, they decide that they're gonna strike them and force them and bully them to give the US what they want. So Spain is in defiance against the US because the war is driven by domestic politics. So they said this war is a domestic it have to do with domestic politics. It's not like in general war. It is because it's a domestic politics. The war is about the domestic politics. Who can control the oils of which country and so forth. China, a restrained response born of a bind. This is China's response. While the war with Iran is not all about China, any analyst that neglects Beijing's role in the war or dismisses the great power competition underlying it is either incomplete or a deliberate red herring. China's own decision have tied it to Middle Eastern geopolitics. In 2018, it proposed a new regional security architecture. In 2023, it broken the Saddam Iran's Syria reapproachment and hosted Hamas for mediation talks with its rival Palestinian function. So you might be wondering, what am I talking about? I am today talking about. I want to hear your response. What are your response today? The Israel. What are your thoughts? So, as you can see, the title. What are your thoughts? What is this you sell? You sell what is here?
I think maybe beetroot. Beetroot.
Want to sell beetroot too? How much you sell it? We never know. How me order?
I'm not sure.
You just get it.
Yeah, we just get them, but you'd have to order it from them.
So I hope you also set up the order.
I have a payroll now,
Find out.
so you can either make Karen.
Yeah. So you know how much about
Which one name Karen? The manager or
the manager?
no, Karine.
Oh, she the one of the
Yeah,
supervisor.
she, Ada, and Julie.
So
So you
you know,
can make them know what you want and then
how
we
much you
tell them.
battle? You know how much you battle beetroot?
Beetroot, if I know 5 bills or
And
six.
you just come with direct orders.
Yeah, me come with them order.
All right. All right. So, guys, if you are thinking about what is this live all about, I am this live all about this live that I'm doing. We are talking about the war that is taking place between and U.S. and Israel and Ukraine, not Ukraine, Iran. So I want to find out, guys, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the Israel-America war at Iran? What are your thoughts? I want to find out from you. Do you think this is the beginning of World War III? Do you think it's a matter of controlling the East, the West, not the East? Do you think it is a matter of Bible prophecy coming true? What are your thoughts? So, yeah. So that is what I want to know. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on this America, Israel going up against Iran? What are your thoughts, guys? So, as I was saying now, I was sharing with you guys what the other leaders of the world are saying about the war that is taking place with Israel and America upon Iran. So China response was a restrained response born of a bind. So what does China think about the war? China's thought about the war. China's thought about this war has to do with a lot of factors. China's own decision have tied it to Middle Eastern geopolitics. In 2018, it proposed a new regional security architecture. In 2023, it brokered the Iran-Saudi reapproachment and hosted Hamas for mediation talks with its rival Palestinians faction Fatah. China's President X, X, Xi Jinping's global security initiative is presented explicitly as an alternative to the US-led order. Iran, Iran has reached an economic lifeline from Beijing, secured a berth in the bloc of emerging economies known as BRICS, and had the Islamic Revolutionary Guard corps operate within the framework of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. To, today China is the largest trading partner, the largest importer. So today China is the largest trading partner in the world, and China is also the largest importer and one of the largest foreign investors across much of the Middle East and North Africa. There are over 400,000 Chinese nationals in the United Arab Emirates alone. Know that the population is subjected to attacks from Iranian drones and missiles that are most likely made with China's source per, 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 precursors, chemicals, and components. Yet China's public response to the war has been characteristically lame. Evacuation advisories for citizens near conflict zones and formulaic condemnation of Israel and the United States. So they are not in too much agreement with it because, as you can see, China have a lot of business that they do, import and export business that they do in the Middle East, and this war is causing a lot of setback in their import and export. So they are not too pleased about what is taking place with Israel and United States upon Iran, because it is affecting their business in these Middle Eastern countries. Beneath the restraint lies an impossible bind. Iran is at its weakest, detested by its population at home, and an exporter of radicalism abroad. Yet it is also Beijing's most reliable anti-Western bulwark and a source of deeply discounted oil. So what we are learning here, that Iran is one of China's um listen so Iran is one of Beijing's most reliable anti-Western bulwark and a source of deeply discounted oil. So Iran has an agreement with China to give them discounted oil. So Iran is one of the biggest, it, one of the most reliable anti-Western bulwark and a source of deeply discounted oil. So they have a great relationship with Iran in terms of oil, and know that the oil thing is going out of hand. This is going to affect their business. So China is not in too much agreement with what is taking place. So beneath that restraint lies an impossible bind. Iran is at its weakest, detested by its population at home, and an exporter of radicalism abroad. Yet it is also Beijing's most reliable anti-Western bulwark and a source of deeply discounted oil. Meanwhile, China lacks the means to counterbalance US and Israeli military dominance. So while Iran is one of Iran's most bulwark in terms of discounted oil what they get from Iran, still China lacks. Still China lacks the means to counterbalance US and Israeli military dominance. That means even though Iran and Iran, Iran and China have great, business relationship in terms of oil, still China is not able to, help them with this war that is taking place. With China is not able to help Iran. China is not able to help Iran to counterbalance what Israel and America is doing to them. They're not able to do that because one, they might not want to get into a war. They don't want to put problem on their own head. Oil prices rose by more than 5% on Monday. So you see the oil price is gonna go up. All of the world is gonna be affected. The oil price, your oil in your gas, the oil that you the gas that you buy in your car is gonna go up. The kerosene oil is gonna go up. The gas oil is gonna go up. The cooking oil is gonna go up because of this war. So what we're saying, oil price alone rised 5%. Monday, the oil price went up by 5%. On Monday, and could spike, and it could spike towards $100 a barrel with the closure of the Strait of. So Iran closed this oil place in Iran that they used to get oil. At Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is where they get oil from, and I think Iran closed it up. So it's gonna oil is not oil now is gonna go up to 100 barrel. The Gulf states, which observe much of China's Belt and Road Initiative investment and supply roughly a third of China's crude oil, are now coming under attack from Iranian missiles and drones. So what they're saying here now is that that the Gulf states, which observe much of China's Belt and Road Initiative investment and supply roughly a third of China's crude. So it's roughly a third. This Gulf incorporate a third of China's crude oil are now coming under attack. The source from which China gets its oil is now under attack. Eh, eh? Oh, God. Again. Jesus. Here come in here, son. So what is really happening here is that the oil that China gets from the discounted oil that China gets from Iran, you know, and most of these oil come from the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, Hormuz, the Gulf state, which absorb much of China's Belt and Road Initiative investment and supply. It supplied China with roughly a third. You can't know, please. Right, you got it. Right in this one. No, sir. Me no know. Me no know the man bad food. Let me just say it. So what we are saying is that China, this war that is taking place in this U.S.-Israel war against Iran is affecting it's China greatly, because most of China's one third of China's oil comes from the crude of Hamas, and No, it is closed, and a lot of the so um, uh, Iran is now throwing a lot of missiles and damaging some of these places that have oil. So this is what it says. The Gulf state, which observe much of China's Belt and Road Initiative investment and supply roughly a third of China's crude, are now coming under attack from Iranian missiles and drones. The irony is acute. It was US military supremacy in the Iraq War and the shockwaves of the Arab Spring that first pushed Beijing towards a more proactive Middle East policy. Now it has gotten a possible regime change and another war in the region, and it is none the wiser. The pivot point lies within the Gulf monarchies. The pivot point lies within the Gulf monarchies. Who are the Gulf monarchies? Those that rule the Gulf. If they enter the fight, if these Gulf monarchies enter the fight with Israel, America, and Iran, what is going to happen if those that control the Gulf, if they enter the war with Israel and America and Iran? If they enter the fight, China would face a situation it cannot see, but it would also present an opportunity that neither the United States nor Israel could generate alone, to make China a credible offer to stop propping up Tehran and allow for the development of a more stable and prosperous region in which to do business. Whether China is too blinkered by great power ideology to recognize that opportunity remains the defining question. Russia, what is Russia's take? Russia not ready to rescue again. So Russia is not ready to rescue Iran. Washington, D.C., one of the knock-on effects of the US and Israel strikes on Iran is that they have exposed yet again that Russia is an unreliable ally. Iran rulers are now observing the same bitter lesson learned by the autocrats of Syria and Venezuela before them. For all its talk of establishing a multipolar world, for all its blustered about leading an anti-Western bloc of states, Moscow lacks the will and the capacity to come to the aid of its alleged partners. Supreme Leader Alio Al-Qaimi is the third Kremlin-backed autocrat to fall into the past 15 months, when Syrian rebels ousted Kremlin Ali Bashar al-Assad from power in 2024. The Kremlin could only grant the disposed dictator asylum in Russia. Likewise, Moscow was helpless to help Venezuela Nicolas Maduro when the United States apprehended him in January. As Politico reports, when US and Israel bombs were pounding Iran on Saturday, Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov offered his Iranian counterpart sympathy and promised his verbal support. And after Khamenei was killed, Russia President Vladimir Putin offered Tehran little more than condolences. Beyond Latin America and the Middle East, the trend of Kremlin abandoning allies and partnership in is also evidence in the former Soviet space when, guys, I can't call some of them big word, when Azerbaijan, backed by Turkey, launched a military campaign to take Nagorno Karabakh in 2020 and 23, Moscow failed to support its irresponsible ally Armenia. The cold, hard reality is that the Putin regime is so consumed by its war of aggression against Ukraine that it lacks the bandwidth to defend its geopolitical interests elsewhere. But while the Kremlin had yet again suffered reputational damage, Moscow still hopes to salvage some benefit from the war in Iran. The resulting higher oil prices will benefit Russia's depleted war chest. Unrest in the Middle East will distract attention and media oxygen from Ukraine. And should the US Israel war against Iran turn into a remain, Moscow certainly hopes to be a beneficiary of the chaos. As Chatham House's Gregor Rose note, until the situation in Iran is clarified, the key words for Moscow will be strategic edging. So Moscow is looking at that strategic edging in how to benefit from this war. So, in other words, Russia is not willing to come to aid Iran against America and Israel. All they are looking for is how they can benefit from the war, nothing else. Yes. So you sweetie them around here, so no. So guys, this video is about the war that is taking place in Israel, between Israel, America, and Iran. So I just give you some. I just give you some a rundown of what is taking place, and I just give you a rundown of what other countries are doing, what they think about the war. Are they helping? Are they trying to keep out of this war and don't want to get involved? So what are your thoughts on the war, guys? Saying 11, I need to. Hi, Anika, how you doing?
but they did not turn on back the lock off. So Ian has just done so he said. So let's see.
Them never do what?
Turn on back the lock off. They turn on the lock
They don't know things, Jane. Let's check it out if everything is okay before you leave.
I guess they probably want the thing to dry first this week. But she should have coming to you, they should have known that.